All right, somebody asked me the question, why main and not master? As I've been going through and doing Git stuff. Recently, actually a couple days ago, I went through and changed it. So the huge controversy around this, I'd rather not get into. We have 25 minutes in this video, so I want to make it short. But participating in the community, I don't want to hear any hint of racism or politics in the chat. It's a bannable offense if you talk about that during this 25 minutes, because this is a video. I don't mind debating those topics outside of video time, but not right now. So the issue regarding main and master is a really supercharged political issue right now, for many good reasons, and I don't want to put those reasons into question. But I'm just going to make you a video to tell you why I've decided to go with main instead of master. And you can hate me for the simplicity of my conclusion, but bottom line is main is fewer characters. It's the default on GitHub now, and it is, and it's just easier to type. Honestly, I know that sounds really shallow. Like that's really the only reason. And for me, it's really the only reason. Here's why. The Git project, we did research on this the last little while. I personally do not believe the word master has anything to do with slavery in this particular sense, and I think I can confirm that overwhelmingly with etymological evidence that suggests that's true. There's people who violently disagree with me on that, and that's fine. I don't want to talk about that disagreement right now. I'm just telling you why it doesn't matter in that sense to me. I'm not black. I'm a white guy. You can throw me under the bus if that makes you feel better about yourself. That's fine. I don't consider myself a racist. Maybe you think I am. I don't want to go there. For me, it's a matter of practicality. Main is smaller. It takes less space. You know me. I'm pedantic about this shit. It's easier for me to type. It takes less space on my screen. It's easier to remember, and that's fundamentally the reason. It happens to also be, more palatable to a certain group of people with a particular political stance, most of whom are white, by the way. Which just, I won't go there. It's just so funny how riled up a white person can get about this issue. And I am finding really hard to not make a comment on this, because it just makes me crazy. It's like all these woke lords, suddenly deciding how we're going to end racism with one word. That's not how it happens. And I don't mind telling you that. There are so many other things that you could be doing rather than fighting over a fucking word to promote this issue, if you really cared to promote the issue. But this is, a lot of showmanship and stuff. So, but at the end of the day, I'm like, fine, okay, I'll do it because it's simpler, it's easier, it's going to be the new default for GitHub, but it is not the default for Git, nor will it ever be. Trillions, if not billions, if not millions at least, maybe billions of repos would have to change, if it were to change. And I actually wrote a script that does this, which I'll share with you guys. It's really quirky and it's not perfect, and I don't want you to run it unless you know what the fuck you're doing. But if you want, I wrote a script called the def main, and you can read the content of it and you can see what has to happen to change it if you want to do that. I've run that on a couple things. Sometimes they time out. It's not perfect by any means, but at least goes through the steps you need to do to make that change if you want to make it for yourself. I made the change again primarily based on the fact that whatever my this right here is also displayed. It's another reason that I really am not a fan of like hyper long branches, because I do like to see what branch I'm on. I work on several branches at the same time sometimes, and so that's another reason to keep main nice and simple and smooth and tiny. That is it. That is really it. I don't have much more to say about that. We got done with that one in 5 minutes. So if you want to change it, you can let me know, and we can talk about that. But I think it is important to note that so this I don't have this version. I think it's 2.29 is the version that supports it. But in my Git config, you can add here it is. You can add default branch main. And in the new version, that will be recognized. That is the Git project's response to this fiasco. They decided to make it allowable so you can change your default. But they've chosen, last I checked, they chose not to change the default to main, which means the default may be main on GitHub if you create a new repo, but I don't know anybody who creates new repos using GitHub. Everybody who creates a new repo uses Git, and the default is still master for that. And it's kind of annoying because right now I do have to change to main, to master to main at some point if I want to do this during the commit process, because the default's not recognized until I get 2.29 installed, which I suppose I could compile and install, but it's not in the packages for Pop!OS right now. And I'm thinking about changing over to Arch for my daily driver now that it looks like it has pretty solid streaming support. So so that's a consideration for another video. I hope that answers the question. How's it going, AXE? Who cares unless it breaks your tools? That's exactly it. Nobody cares about changing to main until it breaks your tools. And if all of a sudden your tools break, like for example, I had a number of tools that, that would have master in the tool line, and that would have broken those tools. So, and then I'm not the only one, right? There's a lot of CI/CD and stuff out there that people have created that's built on a particular branch, and it's all gonna have to change. And realize how much I hate GNOME. Oh, I love GNOME. I'll never leave it. I love it. That's just me. I've been raised on it though. That's all I have to say about that. So, do what you want, people. Just be nice. Remember, we're all humans here. We're trying to get along, and don't cancel somebody for using master. Master is not, it's not a statement of racism. It's just because they don't want to fucking break their tools. I actually am okay with breaking my tool because it's going to make everything more efficient for me and my screen and everything. So that's the main reason I end up doing it. Anyway, and yeah, there are other ways to address all these issues. If there's no other comments on that, I'm going to go ahead and move on from that. All right, I'm going to end this video now.